showing you how to create an absentee list in Listsource. So first, when you're on Listsource.com, you can go ahead and enter your username and password. If you don't have that, go ahead and register. I think it sends you a confirmation email. But after that, go ahead and log in here. Once we're logged in, we're going to go over here to the top left and create our own list. Okay, so it brings you to the first tab, which is geography. You have to choose either a zip code or a city or county. I'm just going to do a zip code for simplicity. You can put as many zip codes in here as you want. Click add. You'll see it shows up here in this box, and this is everything that's selected. Over here to your left, this is kind of like a running total of the names that you have, and as we sort things out, you'll see this number go down a little bit. So now that we have the zip code, we're going to go over to the property tab here and click on the drop down box. First, we're going to go down to equity percentage with the percentage sign. What we want to look at is 30% up to 100. So go ahead, just select all those. Click add over to the selected box. As you can see, our total here went from about 18,000 down to 4,800. So the reason we do this is because if we're mailing to these folks, we want to make sure they have enough equity so that we can get a big enough discount to make the deal work. So we sort out these low equity deals because they probably wouldn't have enough equity to make it work. So we have that. Come back up here to the drop down box in the same property tab. We're going to go down to last market sale date. So we're going to mail to everybody who's bought a house 6 months ago or later. So I usually change this first field to 1900 here. The second one, I'm going to move back 6 months. So we're only mailing to people who bought in early February and earlier. Let's go ahead and add those. Sometimes it takes a minute for the database to calculate the sorting that we're doing. So there we go. Took a few more off there. Lastly, in this property tab, we are going to go down to property type. We are going to choose, so I'm going to sort out condos. For us, when we're flipping, we've done a few condos, they don't turn out as well. They can be a little more difficult to sell. And sometimes if the HOA is not run correctly, that can be something that's out of your control that would hurt the sale. So for this one, I'm going to sort them out. So I'm going to choose multifamily, duplex, triplex, apartment, quad. And what you do here is when you click on your first one, hold down the control key, and you can select, highlight multiple lines here. And I'm going to do single family, of course, single family residence. I'm going to add those. Okay, brought our list down a little bit. That's the last thing we have in property tab. We're going to go over here to the options tab, which is last. In the second section, go ahead and click absentee owned. Brought our list all the way down to 256 names, and that's what we want. There's only one more thing we have to do. So this is everything in this section we've sorted out. You can go down here to the bottom right and click purchase list. So here's your total up here, 256. Has your total price. The last thing we need to do right here below price, there's a checkbox that says remove duplicate property mailing addresses. I'm going to go ahead and click that. So what that does is if we have a landlord who owns 5 properties, let's say, this will only give us one name, so we'll only be sending a mailer to him one time rather than 5. It's not efficient to pay for the list for extra names or to pay for extra mailers. So we're down to 223, so that's what we want. The last thing we need to do is continue to check out. Go ahead and pay for it, and then you can download it in I usually use Excel, but there's multiple forms that you can use as well. So that's how to get your absentee list from Listsource.com.